From my perspective, representing industry in this venue, I was understanding the challenges the long-term care leaders are faced with today in order to improve the quality of life for the residents as well as their um, caretakers, and the fact that potentially their needs and their family members' needs haven't been necessarily considered in the solutions that have been proposed in the past. That was, amazing insight. The second part is, trying to find the place for industry such as ourselves, to play a role to be able to help answer those questions, especially when it comes to new innovations. I don't think long-term care facilities should be held responsible to validate technology, implement technology, upkeep technology on top of, providing care and hopefully improving the quality of basic human needs within the buildings. So for me, having a RASI chart coming at us is going to be super important, and understanding how industry can be held responsible to help bridge in the gap is also going to be really meaningful. When it comes to approaching, I guess, a problem from a business perspective, doing a thorough needs analysis is very important. What are we trying to solve for? We heard from every quarter of the country, from different settings in long-term care, but doing that knowledge translation into sheer language around, specifically what challenge areas we're trying to tackle is going to be very important. So example would be I'm trying to reduce resources or optimize my output using the same amount of resources, reduce incidents within the building, have a gauge for happiness level for the residents within the building. So a clear list of problems that requires solution is going to be, to me, the most clear starting point. And then looking at, different folks around the table, trying to do that needs analysis together, and then defining what are the next, waves of innovation that we can look at. Is that even feasible today? Is there such a thing as innovative technology, or there are a whole bunch of proof of concepts that needs validation? And of course, what does the long term look like? So making sure staying true to that those very steps are going to be very paramount, to make sure this is not just another glorified meeting and session that a whole bunch of wonderful people got together and shared their knowledge. Is not going to go to waste. So I'm super privileged and happy that I was at least included to listen in, share some of my concerns, but it's important for me to be part of that roadmap, for industry to be part of that roadmap going forward. Because as I said, that this burden needs to be shared. There's lots that our industry can offer to complement what healthcare or long-term care is trying to solve for that hasn't even been uncovered, and we're happy to be held responsible in that aspect. So that I know that was a long answer, but the what are we trying to solve for, and then get into the how are we going to solve for it, and then who's going to show up and show not just a solution but also sustainability around the solution, because we just don't want this to live and die by somebody's idea.